What was your first learning Korean there
So
from your
one
friend?
of the first phrases that I was taught, besides obviously 안녕, was
Mm.
하지봤어.
Crazy.
And I didn't know what that meant. And
Uh-huh.
everyone is laughing. And so I
Uh-huh.
asked, and I said, well, who do I say that to? And they say, you only say it to men. And then I was
only say to
saying,
men.
okay. And so
Mm.
then Subin, my donseng's like, Nuna, don't say this. So I learned what it meant, and I thought, oh, okay. But yeah, 하지봤어 was...
Hello, everyone. This is Un from Like Living in Korea. Have you ever dreamed about building your career overseas? I know I have. While working my regular job, I used to daydream about working abroad. New environments, meeting new people, and building an international career. Sounds pretty amazing, right? But for me, it stayed just that dream. I never actually took the leap, and I think most people are probably in the same boat. Today, I'm excited to share the story of an American who didn't just dream about it. She actually made it in Korea. She came to Korea to chase her career motivation. Her name is Ellie, and she is currently a program manager at a global education tech platform. 4 years ago, she moved to Korea because she wanted to experience the entertainment industry. So she faced numerous challenges along the way, but she never gave up. She just pushed through. I want to hear about her journey, what it was like living in Korea, the obstacles she faced, and what drove her to keep going despite these difficulties. So, without further, let's meet Ellie. Did did you expect that I started my own podcast?
Yeah, I'm really surprised, but I'm excited for you.
Thank you. 감사합니다. I actually didn't know that I can start. I don't know why, but this year just brought me here. I'm so excited too. You are the first interviewee.
Yay!
Yay.
I'm excited to join you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for accepting my interview, this podcast. Wait, this is Angie. I'm going to start once again. Hello, Ellie. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you for being here. You've already learned Korean maybe a couple of years. So we just start this podcast with your Korean.
안녕하세요.
네, 안녕하세요. 잘 지냈어요?
네, 잘 지내세요?
네.
아,
요즘,
은 씨도...
네, 저도 잘 지냈어요. 요즘은 어떻게 지내요? 많이 바빠요?
좀 일 했어요.
음.
하고 밥...
밥 먹어요? 네, 알았어요. 일하고 밥 먹어요.
네. 댄싱, 춤 하고 하이킹도
아, 진짜요?
했어요. 네.
그 어디서 하이킹 하고 있어요? 집 근처에 장소가 있어요? 아,
바다에서 하이킹을.
바다에서. 오, 멋있어요. 바다에서 하이킹.
말라부하고
오,
팔리세이드도...
와. 어우, 진짜요? 말리부 그리고 팰리세이드? 와우, it sounds like a car. 한국 자동차예요. 말리부 그리고 팰리세이드. 네.
네.
Palisade is one of the very popular, for the 아빠차, like the daddy car in Korea.
진짜요?
네, 현대에서 만들었어요. Palisade.
아, 오케이.
오, 저는 그거 BH인지 몰랐어요. 네, 오, 재미있어요. 알았어요. 오케이.
좋았어요.
네, 감사합니다. Thank you for your Korean. Wow, very impressive. All right. As
nervous.
far as I know, you recently traveled in Korea. along with Japan and Taiwan. So I just wanted
Yes.
to talk about your recent live event. So what are you up to after your long vacation?
Yeah, so at the end of November I did a tour, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
around Asia. I went to Taiwan, to Korea, and to Japan. I really enjoyed myself, and for those watching, if you don't know, I used to live in Korea and Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Um I really enjoyed my time there, and so I try to go back very frequently. Also, I want to see friends and eat good food and just
Mm,
enjoy the culture. So I really enjoyed being in Korea. I went to Seoul and Busan during my time there
mm.
because I was only there for a short time, but I'm excited to go back again. And news, I'm going back in November.
Wow, this coming November,
Yes.
you will travel Korea once again?
Yes,
Okay.
my younger cousin,
Mm-hmm.
he goes to Stanford University here in
Wow.
California. Yeah, he's
Congratulations.
very genius.
Smart.
So he's graduating with his master's degree. And so I
Mm-hmm.
told him when he graduates that I would give him a gift. And so I told him I'll pay for a trip somewhere. And he
Wow.
chose Japan and Korea. So we're going.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are really great. How can I call it? You are the sister or aunt?
Yeah, cousin, but
Cousin,
yeah.
okay.
But I'm older, so yeah, like a
Wow.
big
Good.
sister kind of. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Good for him. Yeah. Very nice.
he's
So do
very
you have
lucky.
any plan? So which place are you going to travel specifically in Korea, like Seoul or any city?
Yeah, that's a good question. My cousin, he is young. He's only
Mm-hmm.
20, I think he's only 23 or 24. So he wants to go clubbing, of course. He wants
Oh.
to eat a lot of food and see good sights. So I will take him to Seoul in Korea,
Mm-hmm.
but I
Mm-hmm.
also want to take him to like Daejeon or Jeju.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to kind of look at the schedule first. So
Okay.
um, yeah, I think Daejeon is not very exciting for clubbing, but I think it's,
Exactly.
like, a lot of interesting things. Also, like, Suwon is very nice
Mm-hmm.
for culture,
Mm-hmm.
but not for clubbing, so I have
Mm-hmm.
to kind of look at the schedule and see what maybe we can do for 1 or 2 days.
Okay. Sounds really fun. I think
Yeah.
you are expert of Korea touring, so maybe you will make really good plan for your brother. By the way, Daejeon is very uncommon place. I've never been there as my, the travel. So I actually don't know,
Really?
yeah, what things there is. So it's going to be very surprising to me because you just to put this city in your traveling list. I just only know the very famous the bakery restaurant. I don't know the exact name. The 성심당. I heard that before,
Yes.
but yeah,
So,
but
Daejeon, I think, has a lot of good food.
mm,
So, there's also a lot of, foreign people there, so they
really,
have, different areas of, like, more ethnic food.
mm,
Obviously, a lot of people live in Seoul, so you can find,
okay,
Thai food or something else, but also in Daejeon, you can find the same thing. So,
mm-hmm,
and it's less busy and crowded, so
mm-hmm.
that's also why I've been there. I've only been twice, but I liked it both times, so
You already been there twice. Wow, I didn't
yeah.
know that.
The first time funny story, the first time I went, I actually went there on accident.
hmm.
So, I got off the train too early. I was going to Busan, and I thought it was, like, Daegu or something, so I got off
Okay.
early, and then I was like,
Oh
"Oh,
my god.
no." But and I, exited the train station, I didn't think about it, and then I was in the wrong
Yeah.
area, so
Hmm.
and then the second time I thought, "Oh, that place is cool, let me actually go back and try." So,
Okay. What is your MBTI, by the way? You're not.
you
It
know,
sounds like you are not that very planned person. You just spontaneously travel around based on your mood. It was the mistake as you explained it, but I didn't expect it. You just stay and travel there.
yeah, I don't know my MBTI because in the US we
Hmm.
don't use that, but
Exactly.
I when I was younger, I was actually very um like blood type A, very like strict and
Okay.
yes. And as I've gotten older, I just like to enjoy myself. So
Mm.
I plan only a little bit, but not too much. I think there's a lot of fun when you do something that's not planned. So
Hmm.
I like to only
Okay.
have a structure of an idea and then enjoy the rest of my time.
Okay. Sounds really fun. I really hope you enjoy the time with your cousin.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, let's just switch the gear.
Okay.
Okay, I want to hear your 2026 New Year's resolution. As you already shared, you already make the plan for traveling in Korea. So, any other things you're gonna make in this year?
Yeah, for 2026, I want to actually focus on dating. I
Okay.
never date. I always am traveling and doing things with my friends or alone. So I think now maybe I should think about dating
Mm-hmm.
and getting married. So 2026, that is
Mm-hmm.
my focus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, it's gonna be really big event for you. Dating and also clubbing with your cousin. Sounds amazing.
I'm getting older and I feel like I should maybe get married and focus on that.
Mm.
So, that's where my mind is for 2026. So,
Mm.
yeah, now I'm interested again to date this year.
Okay. All right. Great. Lucky for you. Okay. Wow. Ellie, I almost forgot. You have to introduce yourself to the audience.
Hello, everyone. I'm
Hmm.
Ellie, aka Elizabeth, aka Tiger. I live in Los Angeles, California, and I work in ed tech as a career services manager and program manager. I oversee a small department of amazing individuals. I also am a frequent traveler. So, just
Hmm.
an example, in 2025, I went to 9 countries. And in 2026, I plan to go to 5 countries. So, let's
Mm.
see. Nice to meet you all.
Okay. Yeah, it is really 감사합니다. It is really interesting your self-introduction. By the way, you forgot to tell yourself you are a creative director and also dancer, right? I saw this
Yes.
introduction on your Instagram, so you have to tell more about it.
I do love music. I make
Mhm.
music and I love dancing as well. So those are things that I love to do. I Fun fact, I used to be a professional dancer when I lived in
Mm.
Japan. And then I tore my ACL and I'm all better now, but I'm also older now. So I don't do everything I used to do.
All right, the next one. I know you are very interested in Korea, right? So
Yes.
what interests you in Korea and Korean culture, and how does this affect your life plan?
Yeah, so I really like Korean culture. So as you all heard in the introduction, I'm from Los Angeles. I live in Los Angeles now, and I like Korean culture. My first interest was when I was younger. If you're not
Mhm.
familiar, LA has one of the largest Korea towns, and one of the largest populations of Koreans outside of Korea. And so when I was younger, if we ever wanted Korean food, we would just go to Koreatown.
Mm.
As I got older, there are places where you can, go clubbing or, do late night activities. There's norebang there, all of this cool stuff. So
Mm.
I started going to Koreatown more. In college, my closest friends at the time were like Filipino, Black, and Korean. So
Mhm.
I got more immersed in Filipino culture and Korean culture. And I took my first trip to Korea. I
Mm.
actually didn't like Korea for the first few days
Okay.
because I had a culture shock from coming from Japan. So
Mm.
anyone who thinks all Asians are the same doesn't know Asia. Every Asian country is very different from each other.
Very,
Even though
very
there may be
different.
some
Yes.
similarities, it's very, very different.
Mhm.
So I first came to visit Korea. And the reason why I wanted to visit is because really just from friends introducing me to some of the cultural things and then also Korean dramas, all of that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So I was like, well, let me see
Mhm.
what the actual country is like. The
Mhm.
first 3 days I was in Seoul. As you know, it's Bali Bali culture. So I
Yep.
was very shocked by this because in
Mhm.
Japan, it is very much um, that the customer is like God. That's the best way
Mhm.
to put it. So they
Mhm.
always wait for you and cater to you and do everything. But in Seoul, if I'm in, let's say, Loteria, right? They will
Mhm.
say, "Oh, are you ready? Oh, no, I'm still thinking. Okay, then wait over there. Next."
Next, next.
Yes. So I was so shocked. Even on the street, you have like ajumas selling things, and you may say, "Oh, well, what's this or what's this?" And they're like,
Mm.
"So, do you want it or no? It's this thing from here." No, yes.
Mhm.
And so I was very
Mhm.
shocked. But by day 4, I realized that I appreciate this because it gives you more of some human interaction. So when you're talking to people, you're genuinely talking to someone and they want to talk to
Mhm.
you, right?
Mhm.
If they're
Mhm.
stopping you for a conversation, it's because they actually want to talk to you. If they're giving you a compliment, they truly mean it, right? So I
Mhm.
felt like
Mhm.
I could adjust more. After I moved back to the US, I felt that Korean culture and certain aspects of American culture, like specifically Black American culture, were very similar
Mhm.
in terms
Mhm.
of communication style. So,
Mhm.
um, if I like something, I can express that I like it. If I don't
Mhm.
like something, then I can say I don't like it, but I can also say some like a phrase to make you think about something. So I know in
Mm.
Korea there's a lot of phrases that say like, I don't
Yep.
like this, but it's okay for
Right.
you." And in Black
Mhm.
culture, we have, "If you like it, I love it,"
Mhm.
which means I
Mm.
don't really like it, but it's okay. If you like it, then
Wow.
yeah.
I actually
So,
didn't expect that similarity between Korean and like American culture. And as you said, I think yeah, we are a little bit straightforward. Sometimes when we respond something we really like and we really don't like. So the part is yeah, really interesting. Wow, I didn't expect it.
yes.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think this is the part that I really like about Korean culture because um, in living in other countries, it
Mhm.
can be isolating, especially in a big
Mhm.
city already,
Mhm.
because there's so
Mhm.
many people and you're just one
Mhm.
of millions.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
in a big city like Seoul, I can still sit down at like, Opocha and have a conversation with people next to me, right? Even just short, "Hey, how are you?" or "I like your shoes," or "Oh, the food is so good. How did you make it?" Just
Mm.
really quick conversation. People are very warm and welcoming. And I think Korean people are very communal. They like to make sure everyone is kind of
Mm.
okay. I know that it's changing because Seoul and yeah, things are
Yeah.
changing. For the most part, I like that. I plan to retire early in my
Mhm.
life.
Mhm.
I want to retire at like age 50 or 55. So I want to live in Asia.
Mhm.
Korea is one of those discussions. I know me and you talked about before. Maybe I
Yeah.
should buy some real estate, but
Mhm.
it's very expensive in Seoul. We will see, but
Yeah,
yeah.
we will see. Okay, thank you for your experience about Korea. I actually didn't know that your first international trip was Korea. Wow.
So my first international trip was England and like
Not
Europe.
Korea, sorry.
Yeah. But
Okay.
my first time in Korea
Your first
was,
time in
yeah,
Korea.
was
Okay.
very interesting. It was also summer, and
Mhm.
summer is
Ah,
it's
yes.
hot.
It's
Yeah,
hot. It's more than hot, sweating
always. So,
always.
coming from LA where it's hot, but it's not there's no
Mhm.
humidity, that was
Yeah.
a lot.
So, Ellie, I want to talk more about your first the meeting the Korean culture in your place. You went to the Koreatown in LA, and also you met some Korean people when you went to the college, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How
Yes.
was it? I mean, you explained, but I just wanted to hear more about that because maybe that place was your first impression about Korea. So, how was
Yeah.
your first feeling about Korea?
Yeah, so in my college, it was at the time, I mean, it still is, but at the time, it was kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Mhm.
So it wasn't a very popular city. It's not a big city at all. So it was difficult to do things for fun. So a lot
Mhm.
of times people hung out together, they ate, all of this stuff. I met my Korean friends in this Christian club.
Mhm.
So that's how we met. And then I met more of their Korean friends as I joined like the Korean club or other activities in college
Mhm.
or university. I would also say that my experience with them was a little bit interesting.
Mhm.
So, in California, we have what's called the Bay Area. So that's like San Francisco and Oakland and those like other cities. And then we have Southern California, which is like San Diego, Orange County, and Los Angeles. And when I was in college, people told
Mhm.
me that Southern California Koreans are different from Bay
Oh,
Area Koreans. And I didn't
really?
know this, but as I think deeply about it, I can remember that they are very different. I think Southern California Koreans, they are very proud to be Korean, right? And so
Mm.
typically they only hang out with other Korean people or
Mhm.
sometimes other Asian people, but not always hanging out with different races and cultures outside of
Mm.
Korean or Asian. So I thought that was interesting. Sometimes I did feel a little bit of tension, but um, I ended up getting a dongsaeng. His name is Subin. I don't know if
Mhm.
he even sees this. Yeah. So,
I hope so, maybe.
yeah, his name is Subin. I still remember his first and last name. So he was
Mm.
Subin, and
Im
he was so kind. He was actually
Mm.
directly from Korea. I forget what city his family was from, but he
Mhm.
came from Korea to this university.
Mm.
He was the best. He was so kind. He treated me like his Nuna, and I made
Mm.
sure to take care of him, and
Okay.
so I would cook him meals and everything.
Mhm. Oh,
Um,
good.
he taught me some things about Korean culture. And
Mhm.
then the other Korean people around would also kind of, teach me some things. So I felt like more warmth after I met Subin. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Ellie, when I hear about your university stories, I still remember you taught me the what you learned about first Korean phrase, the greeting, like say hello to the man especially, right? So can you
Yes.
explain more about it? What was it your first learning Korean there
So
from your
one of
friend?
the first phrases that I was taught besides obviously 안녕 was
Mm.
바지버섯.
Crazy.
And I didn't know what that meant, and
Uh,
everyone is laughing, and so I
uh,
asked, and I said, "Well, who do I say that to?" And they say, "You only say it to men." And then I was saying, "Okay." And so then, Subin, my dongsek's like,
mm.
"Nuna, don't say this." So I learned what it meant, and I thought, "Oh, okay." But yeah,
Okay.
Hajibaso was
Yeah, okay.
the
Wow,
first
Subin is
phrase ever.
so nice person for you. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It's so funny story. All right. So let's just switch the gear. I want to talk about your career path and future plan as well. Yeah. Shall we talk about our story? I mean, you tried to find a job in Korea. I almost forgot when was the first time we talked about that one, maybe a couple of years ago. You applied for some Korean companies and it was truly hard to get an interview chance, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, explain more your job seeking experience in Korea and career development history.
Yeah. So, I first met this lovely guy. I don't know where he'll be on the screen, so somewhere here.
Okay.
But I first met this lovely guy because I was trying to learn Korean, and we ended up like having good communication, and he
Mhm.
helped me learn Korean. I thank you so much because I had zero foundation of Korean, only random phrases like pajibaso
가지마서.
and mokja, right? Like I didn't have
먹자.
any
Yes.
Korean base. I didn't know any grammar or anything like that. And you really helped me a lot. So
음.
yeah, thank you for that. Um,
Oh, you're welcome.
감사해요.
네. 저도
And
감사합니다.
I felt like when I was doing my job seeking, this was during kind of COVID times, early COVID
음.
times. So Korea was very strict on entry into the country. You couldn't just come because you wanted to. You had to stay in quarantine for 2 weeks at a hotel that you had to pay for, so that was a
음.
big expense. And a lot of companies were not granting visas, or sorry, the government wasn't really granting visas unless they were necessary. So something like medicine,
Mhm.
government, teaching, or things like that that were
Mhm.
necessary, they were not granting a visa for. So I got kind of lucky in my job seeking with applying to some companies before I went. And thank you. You helped me a lot with like my resume and making it sound
음.
good. Um, but when I was contacting companies, I used to call and just say, "Hey, I sent an application," or "Hey, I'm looking to join you all. Here's my resume," or "Who can I send my resume to?" I got a lot of responses, but most of those responses were two things. One, we like you, we think you're great,
Mhm.
but we can't sponsor your visa right now
Oh.
because
Mhm.
of COVID, and we think it will take too much time and money, and we need someone now,
음.
right? And the second was, we don't typically hire um, people for this position who are
Mhm.
not like here, based in Korea.
음. Mhm.
So, when I came to Korea to live and to do things, was able to more so have more conversations and talk to people more. And then it became the first reason, which is we
Mhm.
can't sponsor your visa because of COVID. It's going to take too long. We need someone today. So, um, my I tried to renew my job seeker visa, but because of COVID and then Omicron happened, it was no no approvals of anything, so I
음.
had to come
음.
back to the US and then make a new plan, so,
Okay.
yeah.
So interesting. Yeah.
I would just say, I think as a foreign person, it's really difficult to find like a high paying job unless your Korean is like almost native level.
Mhm.
I also would say that if you have mid level or low level Korean, it's possible to still work in Korea, but the issue then becomes how valuable can you be to the company? That's what
Mhm.
Korean companies are focused on. So, not even huge companies, even smaller companies, they want to know what value can you bring? I'm hiring this
Mhm.
foreign
Mhm.
person. What can you do for me to elevate my company or to help out?
Mhm.
And so,
Mhm.
if you're watching this and you're a foreign person, please remember to learn Korean and also to learn about the company and what skills you have to help them. Because I think a lot of companies, especially because of the economy now, they're not going to take a chance, especially on someone who is foreign. So you really have to figure out what your skills are and how you can help them.
Mm. Yeah, that's a really good things for everybody who are really wanted to work in Korea. So it is really good one. And yeah, not only language, but also as you especially pointed out, the skill set what you have is really important for the company. So before someone apply for some certain company, they have to be qualified with that skill first, as well as language. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. On the flip side, from my thinking, the most of Korean companies not ready for having the foreign employees because the most of Korean is a little bit uh, suffering to speak in English, right? While they are working.
Yeah.
So that is the one of the main reasons.
Yeah. I think my view is I'm not mad at Korea though. I think I understand that you would want someone who speaks Korean, right?
Mm,
Because we're in Korea, where the language is Korean. It's the same as if people come to the US, unless the job specifies, most people want you to speak English, right? Because
mm-hmm,
that's the
mm-hmm.
majority language that we speak here.
Yep.
Um, if you go to Germany, they want you to speak German. So
German.
it's no different from any country. So people who say, "Oh, Korean, they're just prejudiced and they maybe," but also this the country. You should adapt to the country you're going to. The
Mm,
country you're going to should not change for you.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Especially
agree.
I feel Korea has had such a tough history with so many countries trying to come in and the
Mm,
separation of their own country. I think they want to hold on to their culture as much as they can. And so if you're
mm,
going to Korea, you have to be respectful and understand where they're coming from.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just 50 years ago, Korea was not very technically advanced. It wasn't wealthy. It wasn't popular, right? And now, 50 years later, Korea's like top five in the world for technology and
Mm-hmm,
development and medicine development and education and all of these things. Like Korea has come so far in just 50 years. So we have
mm-hmm.
to think of it from that perspective as well.
Wow, very nice view.
Yeah.
That's really great. Okay. All right. So, following up with the previous questions, what motivated you to seek a job in Korea?
Yeah, sometimes I just get tired of the US. So,
Mm,
um, I think Korea was a good choice because I was learning the language. I feel like I was getting good in the language and I wanted to live in the country. And so
mm-hmm,
obviously if I'm living there, I should have some income. So I thought, okay, um, I need to find a job in Korea. So it really was just simple. I just thought I need some money to live. So
mm-hmm,
let me see what Korea has in store for me. Yeah.
mm-hmm. Okay, good. All right. So, do you have any plan? Maybe in couple of years later, you will find your new job in Korea, or any other your business plan?
That's a good question. So I have given myself um like maybe 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I want to possibly move to Korea again in
Mm-hmm.
2028. So I plan to get more serious with Korean so that I can get some type of job there.
Mhm.
um, the only problem is I really like my current job, so
Yeah.
I don't want to leave. So that's what makes it difficult. But my company is very flexible with remote work because we're
Mhm.
100% remote, but they're
Oh.
also okay with people going to different countries as long as you can, do your work and make meetings and things like that. So I don't know 100%, but yeah, I'm thinking maybe in a few years, but I really like my job now. So I don't want to leave it, but yeah.
Yeah.
So if I have to leave
Okay.
my job then maybe I can't move to Korea at that time.
Okay. Sounds
Yeah.
great. All right. We talked about your Korean's traveling experience, but I want to know more about that. So, currently, what is your the most interesting part of Korea?
Hmm. I think Korea has a few interesting things, and I would say the two biggest things that I think are interesting about Korea, um, I think Korea's ability to separate modern culture from
Mhm.
traditional culture.
Mhm.
So, for example, there are like if you're in Seoul, it's a very modern, popular city, and you see a lot of things that you would normally see in every big city, right? Tall buildings, trains, all of this stuff, right? But if you go to more quiet parts of the city or just older parts of the city, especially like night markets, for example, everything
Mhm.
just changes. And you're like, man, was this Korea, 60 years ago? You see people, everything is more communal, as I said before. So, yeah, I remember going to my first night market when I was there, and I didn't know what was happening. It was so
Mhm.
many people. I was surprised. It was very busy, but it was also really like I felt welcomed, so that
Okay.
was really cool. You
Mhm.
also can like haggle on prices.
Mhm.
If someone says it's, I don't know, Ichon, you can say, how about, maybe Ilchon, right? And then you just go back and forth and
Yeah, right.
maybe you come to a
2,000원
good
and
price.
3,000원.
So yeah,
Ellie, do
I,
you
I like
remember
that as
where it
well.
is?
Yes.
Do you
Sorry.
remember where it is?
Oh, the first night market I went to was Dongdaemun area.
Dongdaemun in Seoul. Yes, Dongdaemun.
Yes.
Okay. Mhm.
Um, I think something else that's really interesting about Korea is the country is small, but there's so many things there. Like there's so much throughout the whole country. It's really, really interesting. So because the US is big, like
Mhm.
huge, but I promise you, the cities that you learn about, that's the only place where there's something.
음.
There's There's nothing anywhere else, but in Korea, like, people don't know about Suwon, but there's, like, really nice traditional culture there, and you can do
Mhm.
something, and there's, like, a main street, and, like, there's still something. Even if you go to, like, Busan, which is a bigger city, there's so much even throughout the city, and there's so many places you can go to that you don't have to have the same experience every time.
Mhm. Mhm.
But if you come to like the US, you can have that same thing, but we're a big country, so I expect that. Like if you come to LA, it's different from New York, but in Korea, it's like, wow, even if I'm only going to Incheon, somewhere very
Mhm.
close, it's very
Mhm.
different from Seoul. So
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah, I feel you because as you explained it, even I'm living in the Seoul, the near Seoul, actually, I can see many different types of a building, culture, and traditional things. So as you explained it, the Dongdaemun is the very traditional place. There are many night market and sellers, so we can experience like the maybe the back then the people's the market style. But when you go to some, the Gangnam area, we never imagine this kind of
Yeah.
situation, like the night market.
Yes,
Right. Okay.
definitely.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh, this question actually we talked about before when you talked about your travel experience. What was the most inconvenient and convenient of living here as foreigner? You've lived in here, Korea, a couple of months, right? So
Yes,
from your point of view, what was the most convenient things? And on the other hand, what was the most inconvenient things for you?
yes. So if you all can't tell, or you're listening only on audio, I am Black, so that's something. Um,
Okay.
Coming to Korea as someone Black is different than if I was Asian or, Latino or something. So I
What
think
happened to
maybe
you?
I think it's because I am so visibly not Korean, my
Mhm.
experience is very different. So if I was Asian, I think I wouldn't have the same experience as I had. Um, I would say the biggest inconvenience is sometimes people try and talk to you in English first,
Mm.
and it's really annoying. So I looked at the website of the airline before I went, and I knew I was going to have to pay for my extra bag and all of these sorts of things. And I went to the front check-in place, and the
Mhm.
lady wants to speak to me in English, which is okay. We're in an airport. Most times, most staff can speak English, but she wasn't the strongest English speaker, but she was the one that took me, right, in the line. So she could easily skip me or wait for her coworker, maybe
Mm.
who knows more English, but maybe she wanted to practice her English. I feel the airport is not a good time. I have my flight to catch and I have some things to do. So it was just really difficult to communicate with her in English.
Mhm. Mhm.
It made things more complicated. So then I started speaking to her in some Korean, and she still just ignored me and kept using English. So it made things just more difficult. I think her coworker understood, and so
Mhm.
her coworker stepped in and just told me like how much it cost, and then I said, "Okay, here," and
Mm.
it was
Mm.
finished. I also say sometimes if I go into, let's say, a restaurant and I'm ordering, I love spicy food, right? So I am always okay with spicy food. But as a foreign person, if I go into a restaurant, they may say, "Oh, it's too spicy,"
Yeah, too
and
spicy for a foreigner.
yeah, but yeah, I'm also like of Caribbean and African descent, right? So
Mhm.
we eat spicy food, so I understand, right? Maybe if I was from like Germany or England, then yeah, because they don't have any spicy food in their
Mhm.
culture. But I do. So I understand it's going to be spicy. I like spice.
Mhm.
Something I think is really convenient. I love not having a key for my apartment. It's so amazing.
But
Oh,
you
it's so
still
amazing.
remember the number
I still
to unlock
remember
your
2714. It's just
2714. Okay.
so easy. Also, if you can do thumbprint, you can do the index print, you can do
Mhm.
number, like
Mhm.
you can do so many different ways to get into your part. I love it. It was so convenient. That's like one of the biggest convenient things. Also, the train system is really good in Seoul and really throughout
Mhm.
the country. So I also think that transportation in Korea, mm, I won't say it's cheap, but I think it's a very good price. for
Mhm.
people to go somewhere. So, for
Uh-huh.
example, if I want to go from Seoul to Busan on a flight, I can find a flight that's like maybe 40, hmm, 40,000 won.
40,000 won, yes?
Yes,
KTX, the train, right?
yes. Or even flights too. You can find some cheap flights if you go, find them a little bit early.
Mm.
So that's a really good point because in California, if I want to go from one city to another city, so from Los Angeles to San Francisco, it can cost me like $250.
Oh,
Same
sounds
same place,
sounds
same
expensive.
distance.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's ridiculous. So I don't like that of the US and I really like that in Korea.
Mm.
If you save up some money, you can travel in your own country having without feeling poor. But in the US, you can't do that. If I want to go to New York, the plane ticket is like $700.
Mm.
So I have to save up for months, right, to go.
Yeah, it sounds so expensive living in USA. So the following question is about your stereotype about Korea. You already experienced the Korean people, culture, as well as food in the United States, especially the Koreatown in LA. So what you told me before your stereotype when you first experienced that culture. So when you travel to Korea, your first stereotype is still remained in your mind.
What did I
How was it?
say? What did I say before was my first stereotype? Now I'm wondering.
Your stereotype like the maybe it's not that your first stereotype was like your experience of traveling. When you first traveled in Korea, you were very shocked about culture like the Bali Bali and the people's yeah. So maybe is this the
Mhm.
same or you your thinking is changed now?
I think I understand that Bali culture is mostly in Seoul.
Mm,
That's what I think I understand now. Um, Seoul is very big. So if you have never been to Korea and you want to go to Seoul, just know that you need at least 1 week if you want to see
mm,
a lot of things in Seoul. Um, because yeah, it can take some time to see everything. With that being said, I think I realized that Bali culture is just Seoul. But also, if I come to the place prepared, then I don't have to feel pressure from the Bali culture. So,
mm,
for example, if I'm thinking about what restaurant to eat at, if I check, Naver maps before, maybe look at their menu, and then I have some idea of what I
mm,
might want. Or if I'm taking the train, I can once again look at maps and see where I'm going, what train,
mm,
car to get on so that I can move more
mhm.
quickly. So I understand this. Also, not traveling during peak hours, so like rush hour is not a good time.
It's a
You will
crazy all
feel
day.
rushed. Yes,
Yeah,
you will
very,
definitely feel rushed.
very exhausted. Yes,
If you are
right.
watching this and you want to visit Korea, please download Naver Maps or
Mm,
Kakao,
mm.
something else because
Yeah,
Google will fail you every time in Korea.
right.
Do not
Google
use
Map
Google.
doesn't very work well in
No,
Korea.
it's
Yeah.
horrible. So please download it before you go, because it will be essential for you to get to where you need to go. Yeah.
Right. It is really good tip. Someone
Yes.
who really want to travel in Korea, they have to download the local apps like Naver and Kakao. It will save their life.
I think so, especially for taxis. So something that people don't understand, especially in like Seoul, or Busan, like the bigger cities,
Mhm.
almost no one is getting a taxi from the street by waving. everyone
Mhm.
is ordering on their phone.
Yeah,
So
right.
taxis will pass you by and you think they're being rude. They're not. It's because
No,
someone has a reservation. So,
right.
um, if you see Bing Cha on the taxi, then it's open. If you see anything other than Bing Cha, it's not open.
Wow, that's a
Also,
really good observation, Ellie. Yes.
yes. Also, the
Bincha. Mhm.
the color is opposite from
Mhm.
Western culture. So,
Mm.
Bing Cha is red. Usually in
Mhm.
Western culture, red means no. Green means yes.
Oh, okay.
So just if you can't read Korean, if you see something green, you know you can't use the taxi. If you see
Wow,
something
actually
red, most likely
mhm,
you can use the taxi.
mhm. I didn't know that red means especially no in Western culture. Yeah.
Yes. It
Right.
is a big no.
Yeah, bincha means empty, and also maybe the yeah means the reservation. It is reservated, so it shows like the green maybe. Wow, it sounds so opposite. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yes. That confused me the first time until I actually
uh,
read the
mm-hmm,
taxi, and then I
mm-hmm,
asked so I have, another friend in Seoul. I
mm-hmm,
asked him, "Oh, hey, what is bincha? Because it's red and I see it, but I don't know what that means." And he's like, "Oh,
mm-hmm.
bin means empty." And then I said, "Oh,"
Okay.
he said, "So you can use this taxi." And I said, "Oh, this whole time I thought it meant that I cannot use it." And he said, "No, you can." And so then I told him as well, it's confusing to me because in the West, green is good. Green means go,
Mm-hmm.
red means no.
Yeah. The our the traffic is the same system, but I think the taxi is the opposite. I don't know why, but you are correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Ellie, the next question is about your experience of traveling as well. So, what was the most surprising things to you when you first traveled in Korea? What made you really surprised?
Um, so as I mentioned in our early talk, I
Mm,
like hiking and that's what I'm doing these
mm-hmm,
days.
mm-hmm,
Something that surprised me is hiking in Korea is very different from hiking in LA.
In
I
Korea, hiking means like you have to climb the mountain.
Yes, seriously. Yes.
Seriously, on the top of the mountain. We
Yes.
never give up while we are going up to the mountain. There is no way to go back to the
This is very true. I didn't know this until I went on my first hike,
Mhm.
and when I see, you know, 70-year-old women passing me,
Mhm.
I
Mm.
feel like, "Okay, I can't let them win. They're 70, they're 80, I have to keep going." So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that was my biggest, I guess, interesting thing about kind of like traveling in Korea.
Mhm.
I don't know if you remember when we went on the hike.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
that
remember
was
the yes. You slipped on the ground because your leg is not very working right. So when we go down on the stair, you just slipped.
yeah,
So mhm.
this is when I had but I think if older people can do this, then I should do this more. So, it gives
Definitely.
me
Yeah.
motivation.
Right. Sounds
Um
good. Yeah, it's like the
Also,
competition here in Korea. Like who's
yes,
go first? Who climbs the mountain very fast.
exactly.
So mhm.
The view is also worth it. I remember too, you told me, "Don't look yet. Wait, wait."
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that was good. Because it
Mhm.
becomes more worth your pain when you
Yes.
finish. Yeah.
Right.
Um, Also something else I think in traveling around Korea, Korea is like built in the mountains.
Mm.
So everything is elevated or below, there's
Mhm.
not many flat places,
Exactly.
and it can be very exhausting walking around.
Right.
Um, Even if you're in some place like Busan or Jeju, there's still
Mhm.
different elevations, so that
Mhm.
can be very exhausting. So just prepare yourself if you come to
Yeah,
Korea.
right. There are many hills and there are many mountains. So I think that most of Korean we are very trained about the hiking and climbing on the mountain.
Yes.
Mhm.
Actually the first time that I came with a friend to Korea, well, we were dating at the time. So the first
Okay.
time I came with someone I was dating, I told him like about Korea and we went in the winter, so it was
Mhm.
freezing.
Mm.
Um and this was my first time going in winter, so I didn't know how cold it was going to be. So he was very shocked, I was very shocked. But the first thing he said was, "Man," and he's also American, but he
Okay.
said, "Man, I would be afraid to get into some argument with Korean men because they look so fit. I'm scared they will beat me up." So I told him, yeah, because I think coming from Japan, Japanese
Mhm.
people, especially men too, are just very small, like skinny and slim. Maybe they're strong, but their body is just very slim. But
Mhm.
Korean men, I think, have like just wider build and they just look maybe stronger and also maybe taller too. So yeah.
Yeah, Elliot, I think it depends on the people, but the majority of Korean men, they went to the military, right? So they know what is the masculine things, how they have to show up in front of a woman, especially. Maybe you just felt that.
Think yeah, okay. I can
Mm.
see this. Yeah.
All right.
Um I think my view of Korea has changed. I think I'm understanding Korea more, and just understanding what things I like and what works for me,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
what things I don't like, and how to kind of deal with it. All right. So I think the things that I don't like, I just try to avoid. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Ellie, let's talk about diversity and your insight.
Okay.
I think Korea is not that very diverse countries. We cannot see any, diverse ethnics and people from the other country. It sounds like we are very identically the cloned people. So how do you think about that comparing to the American culture? So Korea is not that very diverse, right? So is it the good one or the bad one for you?
Yeah, Korea is not diverse at all. Um, I think there are some benefits to that. And some of the benefits are most people behave the same way
Hmm.
because they grew up with similar
Right.
thoughts and they have
Hmm.
similar experiences. So most things are kind of the same, which
Hmm.
means I know what I can expect when I go there. And I think when you deal with people on the street, you know how you can respond to them or what you can say because
Mhm,
everything
mhm,
is kind
mhm,
of the same. In the US, there's so much diversity, especially like in big cities. So like New York, LA, Chicago, there's a lot of diversity. So for me, when I travel to the East Coast or like Florida, a lot of people think
mhm.
I'm Latino because the way I look and my
Mm,
hair, there's a lot of Afro Latinos in this area. So the first thing they
okay.
do is speak Spanish with me, and I no soy Latina, right? Like I have to tell them I'm not Latina.
At least you
um,
try to speak in Spanish.
yes, and I always tell them too, like the Spanish I know is like Mexican
Mhm.
Spanish because when I grew
아.
up, it's just most of my friends were Mexican and we're so
Mhm.
close to Mexico and LA. So
Mhm.
we get a lot of Mexican Spanish. We also get a lot of Central Americans too. So people from El Salvador, Guatemala, these
Mhm.
places.
Mhm.
So the Spanish is very different from like Panama or Honduras or Cuba or Puerto Rico. So it's always a little bit confusing for me because here in LA, people look at me and they say, "Oh, okay, you're a Black American." But then if I go to the East Coast or Florida, they say, "Oh, maybe you're Latina," right? So
음.
um, that's kind of interesting. Anyways, I say it makes it confusing because you don't know how to speak to someone or what your interaction will be because there's so many different types of people. But in Korea,
음.
if I go to Daegu or Suwon or Seoul, I know that I can say the same things to everyone
Yeah.
and they will
Right.
understand. And that if I go to a convenience store, it's the same way every place.
Right.
Um, there might be some small word changes, like Busan. I love their satori, right? Yeah,
Yes, 사투리.
but it's so difficult for me to understand because they also speak really quickly.
Right.
So I have to tell them like, "Sorry, can you speak more slowly?" Or, you know, and then they speak more slowly. But
Uh-huh.
they also use a lot of slang and casual
Mhm.
conversations that's not the same as Seoul. But for
Mhm.
the most part, if I speak with just general Korean, they can understand.
Yeah. So, Ellie, you're correct. I have a couple of very fun stories in my life because of this unexpected diversity. So, when I was maybe the middle school, one of my friends he has like the light uh, gray hair and also the different color eyes. It is not that very common here, like the
Right.
very the gray color. So
Wow. Korean guy.
yeah, Korean guy. So when he went to the school, someone who doesn't know about his appearance, the teacher always asked him why you bleached your hair and why you put some succulent on your eyes, something like that. So someone is a little bit outstanding among the group. It is. It looks like always stick out like the sore thumbs in Korea. So he
Yes.
always wants to dye his hair like black, and also sometimes put some the black colors of lens on his eyes. It's so ridiculous, right?
Wow.
But it happens sometimes because he doesn't want to get bullied by the friends, and maybe he doesn't want to get any things from the school teacher. So it happened to him. Mhm.
Yeah,
That was one thing.
that's one thing I'm wondering too. I feel like or if you can tell me your experience, do you
Mhm.
feel like middle school and high school, there's a lot of bullying of kids? Or do you feel
It
like everyone is so nice to each other?
it depends on the environment, but when I was growing up, it happened everywhere, here and there, all the time. Yeah. And also everybody looks very similar. And also we wear the uniform, right? So when we have some different things, it is very outstanding to the people. So it's very easy to get bullied by people, by their friends. And one
Okay.
the other story, have you met someone who has beards in Korea? It's a very
Very rare,
oh,
yeah.
very rare, yes. So I don't know why, but during the COVID, I tried to have some beer. And when I turn on the video when I have the meeting, my manager was shocked. She told me exactly like that. Why are you not grooming yourself? You look like the homeless people. Wow, I was really embarrassed. I felt like it looks so cool and I just wanted to change my style, but she doesn't understand. Wow.
Yeah, this is opposite in the US. Like, women here, we tend to like beards.
mm,
So when a man has some beard, he looks more manly to us. So
mm-hmm,
not every woman likes it, but a lot of women like it compared to
mm,
Korea. And
mm-hmm,
for us, beard doesn't mean dirty, right? It means that you're still nice and clean. But if
mm-hmm.
you have a really big beard that looks kind of crazy, then maybe we think, okay, you're like, you need to groom. But if you
Yeah.
have a nice, we call it trimmed beard,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Yeah. We talked about the convenience things in Korea, right? And you really like when you stay in Korea, you don't need to bring any keys for your house. I don't think this is the similar, but most of men these days, the what is the most popular thing is to the laser, the beard things like that. They don't want to laser their beard
Oh,
anymore, so they just to make it permanently not
yeah.
grow. Yeah, so it is really famous things these days. It is so painful. I heard that one of my friends he had this treatment in hospital. It was really harsh, painful, but he said it worth it because he saves his time.
I
I
don't like that.
considered, yeah, I really considered because I don't want to waste my time to raise my beard every in the
Yeah.
morning. Hmm.
I mean, I understand not wanting to shave every day,
Hmm.
but also I think that's such a drastic thing because maybe now you have to shave, but what if you turn 55 and you want to retire, right? Or 60 and you want to
Oh,
retire and you want to have your facial hair again? You can't.
I don't know, but we just want to keep our base baby face all the time. So,
Yeah. This is like something that's difficult for me too because um as you know, I love Gongyu and
mm,
I think every time he grows out his facial hair, he is more attractive than
mm,
when he shaves. So I always feel like because I'm coming from kind of Western thinking,
hmm,
I
hmm.
always feel like men with facial hair just look like
But I've
really
never
good.
seen his facial hair.
It's nice. Yeah.
Really, he always
Yeah.
shaved his facial hair and then just to show off on a drama or a movie. So I've never seen that before.
Yeah. So sometimes when he does there was his earlier dramas, like
Mm-hmm.
One Fine Day. I think this is like 2006. He had some facial hair for this drama because he lived in Australia in the drama.
Mm,
And
mm-hmm.
then there was another drama where he was kind of on the run, and so he had facial hair there. So he does like an action,
Oh.
well, maybe not
Mm-hmm.
drama. I think it was a movie, if I remember correctly. I think it was a movie, but he also had facial hair there. And then some photo shoots that he does, he keeps his facial hair, but mostly for a Korean audience or Asian audiences, he shaves.
Oh,
Yeah. So if
okay.
he goes to Japan or Taiwan or something, yeah,
Mm,
shaves every time.
okay. Okay. Actually, I'm not that very familiar with the Kongyu's life,
Yeah, I
his
know.
film and his life. So yeah, thank you for sharing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what's the next? I just shuffled a couple of questions. Please understand me. This is my first time. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
What advice for Korean people?
Yeah. exactly.
Yeah. Or
So
advice for someone moving to Korea?
I
Which one?
think the part you already explained it about someone who wants to live in Korea. So you gave a bunch of advices. So I just want to skip that one. But this question is very important. Uh, based on your experience and also your perspective, what is the one thing Korea could learn from your culture? And also vice versa.
I think something to learn from my culture is that diversity exists,
Hmm. Hmm.
and just because it's different, it's not wrong. It's just different. So I think that's the biggest thing to learn.
Hmm.
Even in the US, more people need to learn this. Just because it's different, it's not wrong. It's just different. And I think something that would help Korean people too is if we're in your country, please speak your language. You
Hmm.
don't need to speak English to foreign people
Hmm.
unless they look at you like, right? Then maybe you can switch to English. Um, but I think speaking in Korean is okay
Mhm.
because if
Mhm.
someone is in Korea, they live in Korea, just because they look different from you doesn't mean they don't speak Korean. Um, as you know, there are some kind of famous foreign people in Korea who can speak Korean very well. I'm thinking of like Sam Oyoke, I think.
Sam Hamilton,
Is
the
it?
comedian. Are you talking about comedian Sam Hamilton, who comes from
No,
Australia?
no.
No?
What's his name? Oyoke. Or maybe, yeah, I can't think of his name.
Sam O'Cheery. Sam O'Cheery.
Shuri. Yeah,
O'Cheery. Mhm.
yeah. And then there's another guy who actually grew up in Korea. I can't remember his name, but he's like really, really funny. And
Mm.
his family is from, I think, from Senegal, but his dad is like a famous
Ah,
diplomat or something. And so they came
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
Korea when
yeah.
he was like 2 years old. So he
Yeah.
spent his whole life in Korea. So
I
he
think you were
speaks
talking about
Korean.
Jonathan.
I think so. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
He's so funny.
He's Korean actually. He was not
맞아요.
in Korea, but growing up in Korea
Yeah, 맞아요.
in his entire life. So 맞아요. 그래서 we just consider him as Korean actually.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I think
I
because of this, like we don't know someone's story just because
mhm.
it's your first time meeting them. It doesn't mean it's their first time here in Korea. So just, speaking, treat them as you would treat a Korean person, speak to them in
Mhm.
Korean as well. I also think keep being proud of your country.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
because I think a lot of the issues that Korea is facing is because they're trying to move away from Korean culture and trying to be more like, you know, different countries. I won't say, but I don't want to start any drama on your podcast. But we already see another Asian country that tried to be like a different country and they're suffering
Mm.
right now. So I
Mhm.
would say Korea, please keep being Korean, keep doing things the Korean way. Because
Mhm.
like I said before, Korea has had such a tough history and they've overcome a lot. So, be proud of your country, but also understand that diversity exists
Mhm.
and you should be understanding. Yeah.
Okay. In a nutshell, based on your explanation, I wanted to say embrace the diversity and also be proud of your culture. I'm saying to Korean, yes.
Yes.
Ellie,
Embrace
I
the
don't want to
diversity.
make it controversial about your experience. You want Korean to speak in Korean when they meet foreign people. Based on your experience, you went to France, right? We have some stereotype when we meet French people. They always speak in French. Even the people comes from different country. So
Yeah.
how do you think about it? Which one is good for you?
I I think France is how do I put this? I think France understands, and so does
Mhm.
Germany and UK and all these places. I think they understand the same point that you just made.
Mm.
Embrace your culture. I'm sorry, embrace diversity, but be
Mhm,
proud of your
mhm.
culture. So in France, there are many people from other cultures, but still white French people are the
Right.
largest population. So
Mhm,
anyone who's in France, they will automatically speak in French because they
mhm.
assume you're here, you either live here or you know the language.
Ah,
So,
okay.
yeah, because they understand there's diversity. Also, they
Mhm.
understand many countries because of colonizing the world.
Colonizing, yes.
Yes, they understand, maybe people speak French who are from not from
Mhm,
France, so
mhm,
they still speak French to you. My first
mhm,
time in France, I was going to some supermarket because I wanted to buy fruit, but the fruit,
mhm,
outside is very expensive, but the
mhm,
supermarket, it's cheaper. So I found a supermarket. Everyone spoke to me in French, and I was,
mhm.
like, so confused.
Uh-huh.
And so then they knew, "Oh, okay, so where are you from?" And then I told them and they said, "Oh, okay, well, it's there,"
Mm,
right? Um,
okay.
so I think that's a good point. Like, Korea can be the same. This is your country. People are coming here. You should speak English. Same in
Mhm,
Korean. Same in the US. When people come, we assume everyone speaks English until
mhm.
they say something or they show that they don't understand English. So
Wow.
just
I
speak
never
Korean.
imagined, yeah, you explain like that. You have like very different view, and I think it is correct because wow, we don't have that kind of the diversity. So that's the reason when we meet some foreign people in Korea, we feel like that foreign people just travel or just visit in here. So we just try to speak in English because we just assume that you cannot speak in Korean at all. But in France and in the United States, they have many diverse culture and people and different ethnic as well. So they just think that you stay here very long time, so you definitely can speak in English. So you just automatically speak in English first, before you know who someone who comes from another country or just to travel.
I think there's 2 reasons why I think Korean
Mhm,
people do this. One, I think the culture is, like I said, very communal and supportive. It can
mhm.
be. So,
Ah,
people want to not make you feel like strange. Yeah, so they want you to be comfortable, and so they try to speak your language, which maybe for Korean people, they want to speak English. But the other side is for Korean people to understand that they should use Korean, most, and this is just my experience, most foreign people in Korea are not from English speaking countries. So even for me, I speak English. Most foreign friends that I made or that I know, we actually spoke in a mix of Korean and English
English.
because their main language maybe was French or Spanish or German or something else that was not English. So,
Mm,
yes, they know some English, but it's not their main language. So, when Korean people try to make someone foreign feel comfortable, maybe it's even more uncomfortable because maybe their Korean level is higher than their English
mm,
level. So it makes it feel a little bit strange for them.
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, good point. Okay. Wow. All right. Okay, this is the last question. Your final thought. You explained a lot about your experience, interest about Korea and your life as well. So we want to know about your life motto. So what is your life motto that you can share with the audience?
Hmm. I My life model is we live in a society, so we should understand that when we interact with people. I think what I mean by this is we tend to want things for ourselves and we want everything for us that works for us, that benefits us. But there are billions of other people around. So we can't only do what we want to do. We have to deal with other people. I first started realizing this when I lived in Japan,
Mhm.
because Japanese culture is very much everybody has to do the same thing always. So I never understood why. And I felt very uncomfortable. But I started realizing because I'm coming from a culture where we always do only, we call it individualism. So it
Mhm.
means you're only thinking about yourself, um, and you only do things that benefit you. So when I started traveling more to other countries, I realized most other countries also feel like we're all doing kind of the same thing, not to the same situation as Japan, but um, it's a community. And so, actually, when I used to live in Japan, I went to Korea like maybe twice a year because
Mhm.
I liked Korea so much after a while, and I felt like Korea was better for my personality because
Mhm.
I think Korean people understand that they live in a society. So some
Mhm.
things that they want to do, they won't do because they understand there's people around. But they still think about themselves. So
Mhm.
this is kind of my personality.
Uh-huh.
So I think more people should understand this. Like in the US, we have a really big problem. People will do things that only benefit them, but will hurt other people.
Mm.
Even I don't want to once again get too deep on your podcast and get you in trouble, but
Okay.
there's just certain things that are going on now in this country that shouldn't happen, but they're happening because people are being very selfish and
Mm.
having a lot of like individualistic thoughts. And so it just makes life for other people really difficult. And it doesn't have to be that way, but it's that way because that's our culture here. So
Mhm.
if you travel around the world, don't expect the world to come to you. You should change for each place that you go to because we
Mhm.
live in a global society, which means other people are around. If you want to run and everyone's walking, then don't run. If you
Mhm.
want to eat while you're walking and no one else is eating and they're walking, don't do it. If you want
Mhm.
to pay a different price, but everyone's paying this price, it doesn't matter. Just pay the price, right? Like,
Mhm.
just understand you're in a society with other people.
Mhm.
Be kind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be kind. Okay. Wow, I like your motto. Yeah.
Thank you.
Adapting yourself in a society. Yeah, and community as well. Very good. Okay. Very nice. Wow. Our recording is almost hit it over 1.5. So I didn't expect it we record like that length. So I'm so happy to get more content from you, maybe. You already shared a bunch of things in your last motto, but maybe you want to promote yourself, dating, clubbing. Maybe you want
Um,
to find someone who you really want to meet in Korea. I think you can promote yourself. Maybe later I'm just to put your Instagram handle on this podcast, and whatever you want, just I do it. So feel free to
okay.
let me know if you have. Okay.
Yeah. I guess the last thing to just say is, yeah, thank you for letting me on your podcast, and talking and saying everything. So, yeah.
Mhm. Okay, Ellie, thank you so much for your time today, and I really hope this will be very popular maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know how to you know, uh, how can I explain it? To promote this podcast, but I'm so happy to have you and uh, have you as my first interviewee. So
Yeah,
just
thank you.
hit the ball rolling. Yeah. Please be my guest later as well.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you so much for your
you.
time, Ellie. Have a great
All right.
day. Bye bye.
Bye.